This episode of TechnoBuffalo is brought to you by lynda.com. What's up everyone? John Rettinger from TechnoBuffalo here, and welcome back to the episode of Rettinger's Riffs, the show where I just talk about anything technology related and sometimes way not technology related. That's going on in my mind. This week though, I'm gonna go from just being John the tech reviewer. You can call me today John Adamus, because I'm gonna give some predictions for CES 2015. So for those of you that might not be familiar with CES, it stands for Consumer Electronics Show, CES. And it is the largest gathering of consumer electronics vendors and media and enthusiasts of the industry in the US every year. Now the show has waned in recent years. It used to be where huge products were announced, Microsoft gave keynotes, and it just was a giant extravaganza of geeky awesomeness. That has sort of petered down a little bit. Companies are preferring to have their own keynotes at different times to announce their products, which I guess if you think about it makes sense. You host a big keynote at CES on Tuesday, someone else has a big announcement on Wednesday, and you've already lost all of your steam, so I can understand that. But what we are seeing at CES is the unveiling of new technologies that maybe aren't necessarily new products, but sort of new ideas and new things that are going to incorporate themselves into products over the coming year. So I present to you, dear viewer and reader, my predictions for CES 2015. I think 4K is certainly going to be everywhere, but that is yesterday's news. I think what we're going to see is more creative use of OLED technology. If you guys are wondering what OLED stands for, it stands for Organic Light Emitting Diode, which is just nerd talk for the pixels on the screen essentially emit their own light, so you don't have to have any backlighting or side lighting like you have with current LEDs. It means pictures generally look a lot better, blacks look a lot blacker, they're a little less washed out. Current LED TVs already look awesome. But I think we're going to see sort of more curves. That sort of we saw last year at CES, the first sort of round of curved TVs. We're going to see more mass market curved displays at lower prices. We're also going to see thinner and thinner bezels, almost to the point where bezels don't exist. Sharp for the past few years has shown bezel-less panels, and I mean like bezel-less. There isn't even a little bit of a line on the side. I think we're going to start to see that bezel-less technology make its way into consumer products, which is absolutely freaking awesome and ridiculous to see in real life. I mentioned 4K. It was so last year and the year before and the year before that. 8K, which is crazy. We've already seen it sort of on one or two things last year. It's going to be making more of a prominent showing at CES. Not as a consumer product, but like, hey, you know, that 4K TV you bought this year, it's outdated because now we're going to double the Ks. More of a proof of concept that it can be made if consumers want it. It can be mass marketed. Although I've seen 8K, I've even seen 16K. And I don't see much of a difference, but hey, I think it's going to be there. And speaking of bezel-less, I think we're going to see new smaller bezel-less platforms that'll be used for the next generation of tablets and smartphones. We saw things like the LG G3 with super tiny thin bezels. Sharp had their Aquos phone, which had, I mean, almost no bezel on it at all, which is kind of a crazy thing to even see. But I think that's going to start filtering its way down to consumer products. I would wager we start seeing that towards the middle to end of 2015 as new flagship phones start to be released. So look for that as well. We should also maybe see the first round of Snapdragon 810 products start to filter their way out. That beastly processor Qualcomm has been showing on some reference devices. I think we'll see it filter its way into some consumer products. We might actually see those products, but we might actually start talking about them at CES. And I look for folks like Samsung, HTC, and LG to be the ones that are making those announcements. Speaking of smartphones, whether you want them or not, I think we're going to start seeing 4K displays on smartphones, which for me seems absolutely asinine and ridiculous, but you know, there's got to be spec war for something. I don't know if we're ever going to see those mass marketed. I think battery technology is not nearly where it needs to be yet, which we'll talk about in just a second. But those are coming. 2K on smartphones is 2014. I think double the amount of K is going to be a big push for 2015. I'm inclined to think it's going to go the way of 3D smartphones and last a year, and then just people aren't going to care that much about it because the screen's that big. Unless you're looking at a 4K image on there, you're not going to notice a difference. Because I know you guys are super excited, let me stop the video real quick to thank our friends at lynda.com. They offer thousands of engaging, easy to follow video tutorials that are taught by industry pros that can help you learn the new skills you need to know. Membership starts just $25 per month and it's online, so it's 24/7 access whenever you want. If you want to better yourself or learn something new, try lynda.com free for 7 days by visiting lynda.com/TechnoBuffalo. Again, that's lynda.com/TechnoBuffalo. Back to the predictions. And I think finally we're going to see improvements in battery technology. My fingers are crossed. There's going to be a new tech that's going to increase battery life, lithium air, something that'll make its way into smartphones. But more realistically, I think we'll see new charging technologies. We've already seen quick charge, turbocharge, whatever you want to call it, a way to juice up your phone much, much faster. I think we'll see the evolution of that. Getting 80 to 90% in a 10 to 15 minute window. New wireless charging, maybe we'll finally get almost some sort of standard for wireless charging. There's been so many different variants out there. What I would like to see is whether it's Qi enabled or another wireless standard, enabled surfaces. So you don't have to have a wire plugged in to a charging pad. You can just put your phone on a table and let it charge. I think that would be pretty cool. There's been talk of some charging over the air too, as long as you're in a certain area and you've got your phone with you, it'll start to charge. That's coming too, but that creeps me out way more than just putting your phone on a table. I don't want that running through my body, but I don't know, that's just me. Not necessarily on the smartphone side, but peripherally related. I think we're going to see the next evolution of the connected home. That's sort of been a big push over the past few years. I think we're going to see the next line of products for that. So I'm not talking like light bulbs that we've seen or even thermostats or even smart locks, which are kind of new over the past 12 to 16 months. We're going to start seeing smart appliances and move beyond just refrigerator. I'm talking like your blender, your coffee makers, and things like that that can all be controlled from a central hub, presumably which will interact with your phone or tablet. And last but definitely not least, the automotive world and consumer electronics have been coming just like this over the past few years. And cars are making a bigger presence at these type of shows. I think we're going to see the next stage in autonomous driving. Last year, Audi was showing a car that could park itself and could drive up and pick you up. This year, rumors are BMW is going to be showing that technology. Audi is going to be showing how that technology is improved. Cadillac and GM in particular has been saying they're going to have that technology actually in cars by 2017. I think we're going to see that make a big play at this year's CES. So a lot of topics are going to be at CES in 2015. That's coming up in very early January, and of course TechnoBuffalo will be there in full force to cover it. What things would you like to see at the show? What things do you want to make sure we cover if any of my predictions come true? And I think a lot of them will. These aren't like far-fetched, crazy predictions. These are sort of based on industry knowledge and things that I've heard and rumored over the past few months. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Till next time, I am John Rettinger from TechnoBuffalo. See you guys next video. Bye. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We love making tech videos here. If you like watching them as much as we love making them and just enjoy playing with the latest consumer electronics gear, check us out. Hit the big subscribe button. We got new videos coming out almost every single day. We also have a channel on Twitch where we play games, sometimes not so well, at twitch.tv/TechnoBuffalo.